Meeting for today. Will you take the roll, please?
Commissioner Badgepie,
Present.
Commissioner Chowry,
Present. Here.
Commissioner Glenn.
Here.
Commissioner Hayes,
Present.
Commissioner Huffman,
Here.
Commissioner Melinas,
Here.
Commissioner Minty. Here. Commissioner Warren. Here. Chair Doherty.
Here. And I would entertain a motion for the approval of the August 21st, 25 commission meeting minutes.
So moved.
Commissioner? A second? Commissioner Chori seconds.
Yes.
Any discussion? Please take the roll.
Commissioner Badgepie,
Yes.
Commissioner Chowry.
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Huffman,
Yes.
Commissioner Melinas,
Yes.
Commissioner Minty.
Yeah.
Commissioner Warren.
Yeah.
Chair Doherty.
Yes. So we have John Brady here, our communications director. John, thanks for coming. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm John Brady. I'm the Director of Communications and Records here at the OLCC. Thank you for this opportunity to talk about how we are developing our approach to communicating about the OLCC. So I'll do two things. Let's see where I have to point this.
Is it on? On the side, on the side. Green.
That would help. Okay. Here we go. You want to advance the slide?
Yeah.
Gonna call Chris back in.
All right, so there are two things I'd like to do besides throw this away. Is I'd like to talk to you a little bit about introduce you to the communications and public records team. And then secondly, and sort of the bigger part of the presentation is talk about Oregon's Way, which is the framework that we're using to talk about our alcohol operations and the benefits that they bring to the state of Portland and to Oregonians, excuse me, the state of Oregon and Oregonians. Okay. So this is the team, two sides of the shop, communications and public records. The communications and public records functions have been, of course, part of the OLCC operations for a long time, but the team itself, sort of bringing these two sides together, that is relatively new. And what we recently did is we rebalanced the team a little bit. We needed sort of extra capacity given all of the things that we're communicating about on the communication side. So we moved some folks over. Sarah Ebersol is a very talented visual and digital communications producer, sort of brought her over from public records. Bryant Haley, who has been here at the OLCC for a long time, was on the public records side, brought him over to do external communications. So we have digital communications and social media, and then external and internal communications. And then we've split the public information, the spokesperson duties into an alcohol spokesperson, that's Bryant, and then the cannabis spokesperson is Matt Van Sickle. One of the things about this team is the depth of experience. We have 42 years of combined experience on the communication side, over a dozen years on the public record side. I, as someone who's new to the organization, really appreciate the expertise and the experience that all of my team members bring. It's a huge asset for the agency and also for me. And today I'm going to focus on communications. Of course, public records is very important. And I'd be happy to come back at some point and talk more about what we're doing on the public record side of things. Okay, so over the past year, we went through a strategic planning process to come up with strategic goals for improving our systems, improving how we tell our story, how we do public records. And I just wanted to share a little bit of our mission and vision. So if you can click, there's the mission, or excuse me, our vision. And then the mission. And I think a couple of things to emphasize here, the values of trust, accountability, creativity, those are things that we want to strive for. We're also thinking both in terms of the internal audience, how we're communicating with our colleagues at the OLCC, and then of course our external audience, the general public and all of the various stakeholders that we have. And I think what at the core of this, of both the mission and the vision, is the belief that what we do here at the OLCC is incredibly important for the state, and helping our fellow Oregonians understand that is a challenge that we're very excited to handle, and are really, yeah, I guess you could say we're pumped to talk about what we do for the state of Oregon. Can I have the next slide? Now, it wouldn't be a communications presentation without an analytics presentation, so I wanted to do a little bit of, show you a little bit about our analytics. This is for our website, and one of the reasons I focused on this is because I'll show you a website that we're developing. I think a couple of things stand out about this is that we get a lot of, this is just for February to August, so 7 months, get a lot of visits. 283,000 people came to the website. It's almost 3,000 visits a day. So it's an incredibly important communications tool for us. You can see the sort of those top web pages. On the one hand, you have permit holders and licensees, so our industry stakeholders, and camp as well. But then you also have chance to purchase, which are, you know, that's Oregonians coming to find out about that. So that sort of tells you, again, I think, indicates those various audiences that we're communicating with. And the quarterly chance to purchase, which we just concluded yesterday or at the beginning of this week, that brings in some of the highest traffic to our site. Okay. Now, our approach, back to the future to a certain extent, because I think in the past, the OLCC was very proactive and very creative in its approach to communications and how it communicated with the public. And part of what we're trying to develop on the team is to revive that spirit of proactivity and creativity. On the next slide, you can see some examples. If you click there's Ryan Reynolds. We had the Spirited Oregon, which was a print magazine that focused on the industry. And then the other one is we did a podcast. So we want to get back to that. We want to get back to that sort of spirit of creativity and proaction, and to use the available tools that are out there and expand those to, again, sort of tell the OLCC story. Let's see. Okay, so this is sort of speaking of that, sort of our proactive communication in the present. This is what I want to talk about now is the framework for how we're talking about the benefits that the control state model brings to our fellow Oregonians. And what we're calling it is Oregon's Way, as in Oregon's way of distributing and selling distilled spirits. So if we go to the next slide, so our core messages, and you have the one-page sheet in your binder about this, but so that top of the line message is that the money that we generate brings in it's a tremendous amount, and it brings direct benefits to people all across our state. And then underneath that, we sort of subdivide that. Oregon's Way keeps our communities beautiful, safe, and prosperous. So talking about the specific benefits, the specific projects that we help fund, and of course, the way that we support public health initiatives. And then the second way, talking about the marketplace. We deliver more choice. We deliver fairer prices for consumers. And then finally, the business side, the way in which this model helps small businesses and entrepreneurs. 25% of our products in the warehouse are Oregon made. That's a huge support for local entrepreneurs, local businesses in our economy, and sort of telling that story, making sure that people understand that and appreciate it is one of the things that we want to do. Okay, so this is one of the first assets that I wanted to show you. This is a website that we've developed to talk about Oregon's Way, and you'll see in this and in the other things how that rhetoric flows down through. So we go through, so talking about, again, this is our system. We've been doing this for 90 years, well regulated, the amount of money that we raise for the state, and then what that does for us. Keeps our communities beautiful, safe, and prosperous. And then also that this money flows across the state. Okay, and then if you go here, and then if you pause here, I like this aspect especially also if you, as you scroll over, it shows for the particular counties. Again, this is something that we really want to focus on and bring to people's attention.
Yeah.
So, all right, and then we keep going down the rest of the page. So again, sort of that stress on the specific things that we help to support. And very, broad from, as we like to say, from paving to parks to public safety, the small business message, the business message. And again, the variety of businesses, it's economic sectors. And then I also like this one. So this, if we pause here too, so this just keeps going because it's just a counter. So, yes, there it goes. Okay. So what this will be is, if you will, this is kind of the tent pole then now for the coming communications plan. We will use the language, the visuals, and sort of the next step will be, for example, to take those visuals and get posters into our stores, get posters into our offices, so that again, Oregonians can see this and can begin. So then the other thing I'd like to show you is and of course, part of Oregon's Way is the warehouse project. And so we've made two videos. One is about our current Milwaukee warehouse and the other is about Project Meadowlark. And this will also be sort of part of this campaign. But yeah, you can go ahead and show.
Welcome to Oregon's Liquor Cabinet. 530,000 cases, about 64 million bottles, 15,000 cases shipped a day to every corner of the state. Once the liquor arrives, we break it down and get it ready to ship. We load cases for each order onto one of 3 main belts. We process 4 orders at a time. Our logistics system sorts the cases by order, speeds them to the delivery trucks, and off they go. The 2 biggest categories, whiskey and vodka. Every year, we generate hundreds of millions of dollars for our state, counties, and cities and towns. From repairing potholes, to building parks, to ensuring public health and safety, we help fund it. Focused on the Oregon market, 25% of our products are made right here in our state. And we deliver fairer prices and more selection for everyone. That's Oregon's Way.
So that's the current warehouse. And then for Project Meadowlark, have this one.
Oregon's Liquor Cabinet is getting an upgrade. The future of distilled spirits distribution is being built in Canby. Each year, Oregon's Way of distributing and selling distilled spirits generates hundreds of millions of dollars for our state. This money helps pay for everything from pavement to parks to public safety, and keeps our communities beautiful, safe, and prosperous. Our warehouse is the linchpin of this beneficial system, helping us get liquor to customers in every corner of Oregon. But when our current warehouse was built, you could still smoke a pipe at work. To keep delivering for our state, we need a more modern facility. And that's what we're building in Canby. It will be big, 347,000 square feet, and able to handle 3 times more cases. It will be fast, doubling the amount of trucks that can be filled. It will be high-tech. A cutting-edge conveyor and logistics system will move bottles easily and efficiently. It will be green. With rooftop solar, heat pumps, and LED lighting, it will be a modern, sustainable facility. With this new warehouse, we'll make sure Oregon's Way of doing business delivers for decades to come. Stay tuned for more updates.
So again, sort of pulling those messages through, those visuals through. We can go on to the next step. So what comes next? We want to integrate these warehouse videos into all of our external communications. The Milwaukee warehouse debuted during the recent Chance to Purchase communications. We're going to launch that Oregon's Way website. The website's been designed. We're now kind of trying to figure out some of the hosting issues. like I said, provide the liquor agents with Oregon Way assets and use those to engage customers. And then the next step would be to highlight OLC supported projects across Oregon. That's going to take, some of that is, identify those projects and essentially, brand them as OLCC supported. So those are some of the next steps we're taking. I'd be happy to have it if you have any questions. Thank you. Appreciate it.
John, I like the way that we're engaging with our stakeholders. I assume in the stores, our liquor stores themselves.
That's the plan. We would like to, what we were thinking, or what we've been thinking about is we'll take those visuals for Oregon's Way and, we could have a QR code as people are coming in and out, thank you for your purchase, find out how it supports our state. And then that would take them to the website.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
That's one of the things we've been thinking about. So.
Was that your voice on this, Lisa? That was.
That was a professional.
Yeah, that we did.
Okay,
Chairman.
yeah, Commissioner. Yes.
So in very simple terms, if the public's the audience,
Right.
what are you really trying to accomplish? Because I know you can't advocate for legislation or anything like that. So
Right.
is it really just you want goodwill amongst the communities or understanding or what?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would sort of say all of the above, right? So that I think you would like a basic understanding, like when they hear the OLCC, they understand what we do. And, that's not just the agency that has the signs and bars that says, minors allowed or no minors allowed, things like that. We want them to understand that. And then I think appreciate and also understand the role that the OLCC plays in supporting the really sort of the foundations of our, the foundation of our communities, public safety, transportation, that funding is crucial to what makes Oregon, Oregon the state that we love. And so it's both an understanding and an appreciation. I think I would say those two things.
Chair.
Commissioner.
John, thank you so much. That's a great presentation. I'm all about community education. So typically, when you're trying to create a message or a cohesive message across the board, it's about repetition.
Right.
So are we going to have in the stores maybe every month from January to January, one slide that can encompass one of the focuses of OLCC?
Yeah.
Have we thought about that?
That's a great idea. I really like that idea. Yeah, I think there's a lot. One of the things that I'm having Bryant work on is a strategy for retail services. I mean, that's we know that that the relationship that Oregonians have with their liquor stores it's an important one. That's, they view those in a very, it's a real sort of public engagement asset. They have good feelings about their stores. And also those are wonderful sort of fora for communicating with people where they are. One of the things about, they say about communication is meet people where they are. Well, that's where they are. So something like that, we finding ways to and to use retail services and that foot traffic to communicate about the OLCC is, that's one of the things we'd like to do. We offer, price reductions or sales or things like that. So talk about that, use those opportunities. So that's what we're thinking about that.
Might be fun to incorporate how, Sisters Rodeo has their poster for every year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe something along those lines
Right.
on a monthly that
That's a great
the
idea.
stores can hand out.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah.
Yes, Commissioner.
Yeah, is there an opportunity? I don't know if you're allowed to do this, but one thing I know that bars and restaurants really appreciate about OLCC is just the diversity of product that we can get here in the state.
Yeah.
Versus, for instance, our colleagues in Vancouver.
Right.
For instance. And so, do we ever want to talk about that? Just juxtaposition of this, what the number of SKUs that you can get here and how you simply don't have access either as a bar, as a consumer to that,
Right.
for instance, in our neighboring states.
Yes, most definitely. And we want to, again, to sort of come back to and I think this all connects in terms of liquor agents and those liquor stores. For the first time in Chance to Purchase, we actually featured one of our liquor agents talking about Chance to Purchase and why it was important. And in the video that we did a bunch of footage for her and she with her, and we'll use that for multiple videos. And she talks about establishing that relationship with her customers, with the bars and restaurants, and how that's, one of the most gratifying parts of being a liquor agent. So yeah, we want to highlight those aspects, and that's a huge, it's a huge positive story for us. And again, I don't think people understand. I mean, I certainly didn't understand that as before I came here, the benefits of that. So
That just it democratizes
oh yeah,
access, right?
Yeah,
Which
right.
I think is really a
Yeah.
valuable message.
right. And I think too that the price, you pay the same price for a bottle, on the coast as you do, out in Eastern Oregon. I think that's another aspect that it would be great if people understood and had a better appreciation for. So.
John, thank you very much. I know when I first got here and was starting to learn all of this stuff, I talked to people out there and they had no idea what we did 5 years ago or 6 years ago. What is the 3-tier system? What is a control state? They had no idea. And how much we do for the state is important. We do quite a bit for the state, for people in recovery, for safety, for all the communities that are out there. And several years ago, we got into the limelight. I'll call it the limelight. And everybody wants to learn what we're doing now and why we're doing it. So I appreciate what you're doing. This looks fantastic. I'm excited for it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank you for
John.
all of your suggestions. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Lisa, good morning.
In person.
It's a tough act to follow. I don't have flashy videos in mind, but I did have some exciting things to share. So for the record, Lisa Bertram, Distilled Spirits Director for LCC, giving you a Project Meadowlark update. Try this.
Okay.
Just for fun to see if it works. So last time I talked, lots of things going on site right now. So we're going to talk today about the tilt panels, the roof structure, which is starting to be delivered on site, and then grading and paving. So last time I talked with y'all, this was a picture of what the site looked like from August. And the next picture is what it looks like today. So as of right now, all the tilt panels are fully up and they're braced in place. And we'll kind of talk through what that looks like. So the tilt panels, this is as the tilt panels were going up. There was this massive 375-ton crane that was delivered and assembled on the site by another giant crane. But this red crane is the one that put up all the tilt panels. They've been put in place and then stabilized. So in this picture, you can see this is from the inside of the building. There's those kind of vertical columns, which are made out of steel. Those are actually bolted to the tilt panel itself and then bolted to the slab. And then the team will begin grouting between the panels and also welding. So each of them have a weld plate in a couple different places. They'll do all of that. And those stabilizers will stay in place until the roof structure is done. So this is what it looks like kind of up close. Each of these panels weighs anywhere from 130 to 175 tons or 75,000 pounds. So that's what the crane was for, to lift these up into place. It took them about 2 weeks to get all the tilt panels up in place. There's a lot of coordination that went into that as far as getting them up. So like I said, as of right now, they're all up. And then this is just another shot. The shot on the left is this is what the exterior building looks like. And you can see a tilt panel there in the foreground with the braces that's still on the ground. On the right-hand side is the crane. So because it was such a heavy crane, it had to have a specialized road. So they brought in these timbers and they would move the timbers around to wherever the crane had to go. So they'd pick them up and put them in front of the crane from the back. And the crane, that's how the crane got around the entire building to put up the panels. So this is what this looks like today. On this is the north side of the building and then the west side, which is the dock side. So that's the back side of the building. So as you're kind of facing from Walnut Street, you won't see this back side of the building, which is where the dock is. So that's where the traffic will come back around to the back. And you can see there's a different grade pattern back there because of where the dock doors are. So that all had to be configured as they were putting up the tilt panels. So now that the tilts are up and stabilized, the next thing is the roof structure. So they've started there was 41 different tractor trailers that brought in all of the roof supplies. So all of them are stacked on site. There's different components for the roof structure itself. And so what they'll do is they've got all of that inside the building now. They'll assemble these giant pieces, 50 by 50 foot pieces on the ground, and then they'll lift them into place with a crane. And so they have a specific way that they're going to put the roof structure on. Once they get the roof structure in place and secured, then they can start pulling off those stabilizers off the tilt panels. So the roof structure is actually what keeps the building, kind of in place and locked in place. So this is what it looks like. Looking at this would be like the east side of the building that we're looking at. And you can see there's different girders. There's a lot of wood. There's wood in the ceiling as well. So again, just a lot of coordination to get these things built on the ground and then lifted. And they'll start that next week, actually, lifting the roof into place. And then paving and grading, because of the way we're moving into the wet season, they want to get all of the paving, all the curbs in. They're trying to get as much concrete in the ground as possible and then put all the seed down so that as we get into the wet season, there's erosion control on a lot of, there's still a lot of bare dirt out there. So trying to get all that done in the next, month before we get into October. So there is this road in particular, this is on the north side of the building. This door is a knockout door. So in the future, if we ever had to expand this building, the door that this truck is going into will be covered, and then we'll be able to knock it out in the future if we want to expand. So what they're using it for now is actually a road to get stuff inside the building. So this is the main entrance road for all the trucks, anything that has to deliver things on site that have to go inside the building itself. So this is the breezeway for that. This will not be, a permanent road in the future. All this will be dug back out. But they are doing all of the other paving and grading on site. So that's kind of what that looks like, just to give you an idea of the plan again. So the yellow bits are actually like the road. On the left-hand side of this, so that's where the trucks are going to actually come in and go to that back side of the building where the dock is. And then you can see the employee and visitor parking lot up on the upper right-hand side. And then they do have the Walnut Street, which is at the very top. All the curbs are poured for that. So there was no curbs on that road before. It was just basically dirt to street. So did a bunch of improvements there, put the curbs in. There'll also be a sidewalk there that they'll put in before we hit the water season here. This slide is the same as last month. We talked a little bit about project list with material handling system and procurement, and then also the schedule. Nothing has changed since I last talked to y'all, but I did want to leave this slide in here because I think it's a good thing to continue to talk about as we move through the project. The material handling system, as I talked about last time, is, they're really designing it down to the minute part. And so once they have all of that engineered, then they'll actually go out and procure it from Honeywell as our vendor for that. We should know more in the next couple of weeks about that procurement time. And then the schedule, we talked about this last time, the tilt panels are on schedule. The next part is the roof structure, that's on schedule. And then, we'll just continue to talk about schedule as we work through the process. With construction, anything can happen. So just wanted to keep this slide in here for y'all going forward. Last thing I want to talk about is the art and installation. So now that the building is up, we're starting to move on to, other things that are going on in the project. I believe I mentioned this maybe a few months ago. There's a 1% total budget for art in the project, which is about $1.4 million. That includes some restoration and relocation of some of our current art collection. So we have that Benanhinga crane out in the front that will come to the new Canby warehouse. So, getting that out of the pond, getting it clean and reinstalling it in Canby, that's part of that budget. There's also going to be two artists that are going to be working on some different projects on the site. So one is a large art sculpture that's going to be in the plaza. And I have a drawing of where these things are. It's a large, like a bottle design, but it has interior benches, so you can walk inside of it and sit down, hang out. It's glass and steel really pretty, different colors. They're also using imprints from like native Oregonian flora, fauna to put inside that as well. So pretty cool. The other one is a decorative screen. So there's two areas that this artist is putting screens. One is around the employee patio. So kind of off our servery or cafeteria, there's a little patio for employees that will be a secure area. So there'll be a screen around that. And then we do have the Zora Lutheran Cemetery in the front of our parking lot kind of area. And there'll be a screen around that as well to kind of differentiate that from the property. That's also a glass and metal design right now. These are both still working their way through the process. We have a commission that looks at this. It does include members from the Oregon Arts Commission. And so they're working with the artists to go through draft designs. We should have a completed design here, in the next couple of months. And so once we have those final designs, I can show you all that as well. Both of them kind of play off each other with the glass, the colors, and then also the decorative screen is using flora and fauna again from Oregon. So it's going to be very like local. They kind of look similar to each other, but very different artists. So kind of a cool thing. Go to the next one. So then go hit the next one, and then we should show up. So this is where one of the screens will go. This is the cemetery. We do have, you can see the cemetery boundary. There's a 25-foot buffer that we put in place so that we're not next to the cemetery. We kind of gave ourselves a little buffer to go on the outside of that for many different reasons. But that's where one of the screens will go. And the other one will go, this is where the little patio is for the employees. So one will go around there. Again, that's going to be a secure patio with like a card reader so employees can use that space. The little blue circle is where that big art sculpture is going to go. So just north of our parking lot, there's a little plaza. It's just stamped concrete with some benches and some landscaping. But that's where that big sculpture will go. And then this area is where that Inhinga will be placed. There's that kind of semicircle there where the Inhinga will go. And then that we won't have a water feature like we do today. It'll just be like some rocks and boulders, kind of look like a riverbed sort of looking thing. And then the last thing is we'll have the OLCC logo next to the front of the building. We're talking a lot about signage now and how to make this is an OLCC building, so we'll have our insignia on the building itself, but then we'll also have what's called the monument sign that will show like this is where OLCC is up on the street, so people will know that we're there. I think that's it. So any questions?
Questions?
Thank you, Lisa, for the update. It's always exciting, especially being in construction, knowing that everything is on schedule. That's fantastic. When is the roof scheduled to be closed in?
So they're starting it next week, which is starting those components. But I don't have the exact time. It's when it's going to be this month. So,
Okay.
By the end of,
For the rainy season.
I should say it's going to be at least 3 weeks. So that bumps us into October a little bit. We've already had some water on site too. There was rain on Sunday. And so that kind of gave them that first look of like, where are the spots that, really need attention? What do they need to cover up? That kind of thing. So it'll be definitely before we get into the heavy rainy season, but that's kind of what they're trying to get at is get the building secure.
And is there a drying out period after the roof is installed?
I don't know the answer to that.
Commissioner?
Remind me of the timeline for total completion.
So the building itself is kind of like, late to like fall-ish of next year. We do have our busy season, which comes every holiday season. So we have kind of a hard stop in September to ensure that we can distribute holiday without interrupting that. And so depending on where the build ends and where that starts, so it'll be fall of next year for sure, but depending on when all of those things come into play, we could be taking occupancy sometime later than that. Mm-hmm.
What's the total cost on a?
145 million.
145 million. Does that include the material handling system?
Yeah, it includes material handling. It also includes the land itself. So the purchase of the land,
Okay.
everything encompassed in the building is in that 145.
How much is
budget.
just the material handling system?
24 million.
24 million. Wow. Yeah. So on the art side, we're using local artists.
Yes.
Now we've got this great building. What's gonna be on the sides of the building? Is that any opportunity there for?
Several other people have asked about this actually, because the building itself is, I mean, most of the building, the concrete structure that you saw in that picture, we're just paint, I mean, it's an exterior paint, so we're not, it's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of square footage on the side of that building, so that will all be actually one color, and it'll be a white-ish color. The facade of the building is where the offices and stuff will be, there'll be like metal, and that'll kind of be different colors and things, but the whole building itself, actually, we don't have any planned as far as murals or anything like that at this point.
Maybe the graffiti artists will help us out with the.
Hopefully not.
Canvas out there.
Yeah,
Lisa, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. absolutely. Thank you all.
Right now, the commission will temporarily recess its public meeting to discuss proposed stipulated settlement agreements from contested cases under ORS 183.417 and as authorized under ORS 192.6901.
Hilarious.
Okay, we are back in session. We have just the stipulated, is that what we got then? Yeah, so I would entertain a motion for the alcohol violation stipulated settlement.
Chair Doherty, if I may.
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah,
I forgot you again.
If I may, Elijah Nadell,
Oh,
Administrative Hearings Division of the OLCC, presenting for your consideration, one alcohol stipulated settlement agreement, 4 marijuana stipulated settlement agreements, and 1 alcohol licensing stipulated settlement.
Chair, I would move to ratify the stipulated settlement agreement for G and Z Mini Mart as proposed by staff.
moved and second. Any discussion? Take the roll, please.
Commissioner Badgepie,
Yes.
Commissioner Chari,
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Huffman,
Yes.
Commissioner Miletus,
Yes.
Commissioner Minty,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren.
Yeah.
Chair Doherty.
Yes.
Well, then I will present, 4 marijuana stipulated settlement agreements for your consideration.
All right,
Chair,
Commissioner,
I move to ratify the 4 marijuana stipulated settlement agreements as proposed by staff.
Second.
moved and seconded. Any discussion? Please take the roll.
Commissioner Badgepie,
Yes.
Commissioner Chari.
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Huffman,
Yes.
Commissioner Miletus.
Yes.
Commissioner Minty.
Yeah.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
Yes,
Chair,
yes, Commissioner,
I move to ratify the stipulated settlement agreement for KDC as proposed by staff.
Second.
moved and seconded. Any discussion? Please take the roll.
Commissioner Badgepie,
Yes.
Commissioner Chari,
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Huffman.
Yes.
Commissioner Miletus.
Yes.
Commissioner Minty,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
Yes. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Eli, thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Cutting you off.